Had a couple of maintenance issues I was wanting to make video on. One of them I made some video on it quite some time ago, and the other I never shot a single piece of video while we were working on it. And I told Nelson I would do this, so first video you're going to see was taken on May the 10th, and I probably won't start it up and run it, but I'll take another piece of video today on, let's see, this is August 19th. We've been through all of our first cutting hay, done a little bit of second cutting, and around here we don't try to get like 4 cuttings of hay. We usually, if we get our first cutting off, a lot of our hay ground turns into pasture. We just turn the cows in on it and work at it that way. But anyway, I got this 2 maintenance issues. The first one's on the 966 injection pump, and the second one is on the Kubota RTV 500. Had a steering issue, and so I'll give you a short recap on them and what we did, maybe show you some of the parts, and go from there. This is the 966. What I've been told, it was this hose. We'd had it made as a hydraulic hose, and it doesn't have any give to it that caused that. I don't know whether that's true or not. Got another pump for it, but I couldn't make the other pump just go right on there. We couldn't time the engine that we had it took the pump off from, so I'm having to wait around till I got somebody that knows more about it than me to come look at it. So this is just the middle of this story, not the end. Kind of trying to get ready to go cut some hay, but the weather ain't letting us today. That, and I'm feeling under the weather. I was busy all morning this morning, and I quit for lunch and haven't felt good since then, so that's how that looks. There's Mr. Sam. How we doing, Sam? Yeah. Well, the 966 probably cut about half of the hay that we made so far this year. My dad always comes along and cuts with us in his 970. If you've watched me in my videos, you've seen it. This tractor here, let me tell you how that worked out. We showed the injection pump leak on it, and if you're looking at this pump and the one it had on it, you can tell there was a difference. This one's obviously got paint on it and stuff, and this one has developed a little bit of a leak, but it's in a different spot and it's not nearly as bad. These injection pumps are extremely expensive to get rebuilt in my opinion. And so I know Nelson did a video where he worked on one on his 1086, probably would have been identical to this. The 966 has a 414, which is the same motor that the 1086 has, except the 1086 is turboed, and so it's basically the same motor. We got this injection pump out of salvage yard. I have a very good friend at salvage yard, and I scrapped my combine at a 615. I'll just be real honest with you. I got more irons in the fire than I need, and trying to grow crops to harvest with a combine, though it may be lots of fun and good learning experience, it's just not what I need right now. And I had actually only traded into that combine a tractor that I give about $1,000 for, and so we kept a bunch of parts off from it, scrapped the combine, and got most of my money back. And the motor on that combine run great. And I took video of it and told my friend I had that motor. Basically, we just cut the skid loose. Motor, belts and belt pulleys and radiator and everything was still with it. You could have started it up and run it if you hooked it up to a gas tank, but I told him I needed an injection pump that didn't leak, and he said, I'll get you one. Went out to his place and took him that motor, and he gave me this injection pump. Well, this injection pump was on a motor that was on a combine, and so it idles down just a little bit differently, but it works. It's not leaking excessively. Wouldn't do for a show tractor. I'm sure they'd have to fix every little part on it, but like I had said, I don't know enough about the timing on them, and the motor we got it off from was stuck, and I don't know if it had internal problems, but it was partially apart, and I really had quite a bit of reserve. But my friend at the salvage yard told me, he said, if this one don't work, we'll get another one. And so we pulled it off from there, and the injection lines had actually and the end lines had actually all been taken off from it, had been sitting out in the weather. And so I got a friend of mine to swap it for me. I think he charged me, I don't remember, it was reasonable, $300 or $400 to swap it and get the thing to run. And there's a lot of bolt turning and stuff there in order to do that. So that was what we did, and it has worked out really good. Like I say, it does have a little leak, but it's in a different place, and it's way acceptable. So we got that one to going and have been using it, satisfied with it. By the way, maybe you could tell in the earlier video, that tractor is loud. But anyway, the other issue I wanted to show was on my little Kubota side-by-side. I had looked and hunted, didn't really want a Kubota. I'm not big on them. I realized that they have more tractors, more machines out there with their name on it than what a lot of companies do that would be made in America, but I didn't really want one. And this is what I could find when I went looking for a side-by-side. And it's got, I've never done a video on it. I did a lot of video from it. It's got 1,430, let's say 33 hours. It is, it'd be difficult to get this one stuck unless you was really messing up. It has shifter where you shift into four-wheel drive. It also has diff lock, but this thing, they tell me, has the same hydrostatic transmission as some of their lawnmowers. Not had any troubles with that part of it. Now, I tried one of these out. I didn't try it out, I bought it from a local company here that sells farm equipment, and I'm not going to mention their name, but they did me real good on it. And actually it was it and this one were both on ads for within $50 of each other. And so I went and picked the other one up, wrote them a check for it, and I had it here, and I drove it over the weekend. Quick as I got it home, I got to realizing that something in the motor was broke between the water and the compression, and it was blowing antifreeze out the exhaust. And so that was on Friday when I got it. I wasn't able to drive it even on Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon I figured this out, and I was just sick, thinking I'd messed up badly. And so I called them on Monday morning, and I said, hey, I bought that Kubota from you. and it has an issue. He said, well, we run through the shop, but all we do is clean them up and put them out here for sale. And he said, I don't know anything about mechanically on it. And I said, well, it has a bad problem, and it's losing water into the motor. And he says, oh, well, and I was kind of thinking he was fixing to tell me it was my problem. I bought it. He said, I think we still have your check. Why don't you just load it up and bring it back up here, and we'll take it back and give you your check back. And he did, and I went to the other place and bought this one, and it's been a good one. It's dirty. We work around here. We don't have a lot of play pretties. This thing just expected to haul buckets and people around all the time. Saved me about 1,000,000 steps. It's over half, a quarter mile from my front door to the sawmill. And my front door is the place that has the bathroom in it and all sorts of things like that. But the problem we had with it was the steering went to giving us issues. And it wouldn't steer. You can crank the wheel and you can just hear it pop, 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 pop. So I found where it was and I tried to tighten it up, but it was far too late. It had already rubbed all the spleens out of this yoke right here. It'd be very difficult. It looks like you can still see them, but they're not deep enough to catch. And it only has 2 little places on the shaft that goes on to catch on. And true to form, they made this shaft with those little knuckles on it, and I'm sure you could take those U-joints apart and they're miniature compared to anything I'd ever dealt with before. And that is the shaft that goes from the bottom of the column over to the steering box, which when you look in there, you can see the steering box is pretty much in the middle. And it's that yoke right there was the one that stripped out. The part we had to buy was that shaft, and it took them 5 days to get it to Joplin. And it was $150 time we were done paying for extra shipping and all that. So, but it didn't take Dakota very long to put it on. However, you have to take that gearbox loose, and in order to get enough slack in everything, you had to slide the or take the ball joints, tie rod ends off from the ends of it where it's hooked onto the wheels to be able to slide it out enough to get that off. So, but Dakota did all that repair and have any of it to do with him. We've been doing some other repair work. I'll give you a little preview on that. This is the kind of stuff nobody tells you about. When you buy a baler, you will have broken teeth eventually. And we've got 4 parts balers of these 605F Vermeer. And so and Dakota takes every other band loose and takes it off so he can get in there and change them. It's a lot easier to do it that way. You can use a impact wrench even to change them. You can see this tooth out here on the end has an issue. You can see it really easily from here. See how it's twisted? That's because it's loose. And if you run them after they get loosened up, they will wear the threads off that need to go in the bolt or in the nut next, and so you wind up having to take the thing loose if you can get it. But anyway, he worked on that for an hour or so yesterday, and work on it some more today. This I had to do some other mods to this baler. It got to where the tailgate wouldn't stay latched. So I notched out these latches some more. And then I got to realizing that these latch straps, which allow the latches to go down, were holding the latches up. And this baler's old. It's from the mid to early 70s. I gave $500 for it, y'all. We've baled, well, this year alone, this baler has probably baled 500 or 600 bales. Last year it baled more than that because Scott's tractor broke down and it baled all the last hay that we baled. So that's just kind of, we've been going at it with this whole thing, and it works. I get along very good with it. We have another one that's in a lot nicer shape that is a user, and it's unhooked from the tractor right now, but it's back there. And this is the baler I learned to bale on. A baler just like this. My dad bought one of these as a demonstrator in about 1980. Biggest tractor we had then to pull that baler with was a 460 Farmall, and it would do it. Did it for quite a while, until for about 4 years it baled all the hay we baled with that round baler. But Dad's kind of overdoing any of the baling anymore, and happy to just get to do some mowing. So that's what's going on in the shop. We had some issues with Mildred. Water leaks. I still have water leaks off and on. I got to a point where we had changed the radiator because it had a crack show up in it. We changed all the hoses except for one, and I can see that little hose, and it's in great shape, and really it looks like it'd be really difficult to get off. We changed the heater core, and it wasn't leaking very much. It had some wet on it, but it wasn't leaking very much. But we're to a point of didn't know what's next, and we had changed the water pump before in 2018, and we had to change the water pump again. So I'm on my second lifetime guaranteed water pump. Hopefully though, when I check the water in it today, it'll have water in it. It was kind of getting like a person that can't hold their water. But anyway, we'd been working on that. A few other little maintenance items around here. We had in our sights to get that axle right there, and that piece of frame that it's sitting on is going to be the trailer for my next gravity wagon project. We had in our sights to do some work on that, but I'm not sure that's going to happen because I've got some other stuff to come up I really need to get at. So that's about all I got for right now. Some people apologize for their dirty windshield. This will tell you how much it's rained yesterday. This thing was sitting out here in front of the shop, and we got a little shower. Very little. Sun come out and dried it right off. But anyway, hey, thanks for watching my videos. Hope you've enjoyed this little maintenance update on all the pieces and parts that I have left over. And hope to get to talk to you again later. Thanks for watching.